Oh, right. It says we're live. So hello, happy Sunday, which I have not changed my calendar since Monday. We go fix that. We're going to fix that to make sure it's right. It's been a week. It has been a week. Since I have done much productive at all. I've gotten like a little bit of writing done this week, not a whole lot. It's been pretty heavily focused on school and sort of just recovering from day to day, all that kind of stuff. So we now have the correct date, so we can have that in the background. And I have not pulled the cards yet for today. So let's see. I don't have the little document camera set up for today just because I was like, it's going to be a little too much for right now. So I'm just going to do my usual hold up of the cards. Okay, so we have the giraffe spirit as our spirit animal for the day. See the big picture. So looking at overall the big goals, making sure that we have sort of like the overall tone or theme that we want for our stories. Also just in terms of life right now, like making sure that your big goals, your long-term goals are sort of like what you're focusing on rather than the minutia that might be giving you anxiety at the moment. That's kind of the read I get for the giraffe is like sometimes you're paying too much attention to the small things, and so you need to remember sort of like take a step back, take a deep breath, and look at the long term, look at the big picture, as the giraffe says, get you some distance and perspective from the minutia. We have the Four of Pentacles. Oops. I'm just throwing cards, y'all. I'm just throwing cards. We have the Four of Pentacles, and it came out inverted. And then when I threw it, or when it leapt out of my hands, it became normal. So maybe it's supposed to be normal instead of the inverted. Let's check. I think the fours are usually like reminders that you need boundaries, which would kind of also fit with like the giraffe and making sure that you're not bogged down in minutia. Okay, let's see. Four of Pentacles. Yeah, boundaries for sure. In the upright position. Asset management, which it could include your energy as well. Borders, self-protection, boundaries, and limits. So that's kind of a clear thing. Okay. Oh, and then we have the Ten of Wands, which is another card of like overburdening yourself. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, oppression, burden, overbearingness. Interesting. Okay. This seems like it might be, I don't know if this, okay, so Seven of Swords inverted. Let's do this last card before I sort of like make some assumptions about things. So Seven of Swords. In the reversed, which is, it's in the inverse. Are you going to focus? Probably not. Seven of Swords is in the inverse is courage and self-respect. Okay, so these between the giraffe and the three tarot cards for today, I think there are a few of us who might be attempting to do more than we should, and we are not setting proper boundaries. We are not keeping the things sacred that we should be keeping sacred, like your writing time. That would be me. and making sure that you have that self-respect for yourself and that courage to say, no, this is my time for like me, or my time for writing. So this is very much a like, stop doing too much, take a step back, take a deep breath, and like make sure that you are keeping your big goals, your big pictures in mind, because you can't win like your long-term goals in an instant. It's not going to happen. So you have to make sure that you keep some boundaries so that you can continue to do your best over that long course of time. So that's what those cards are for. So there are some of us ambitious folks who want to get things done, or we hyper focus on things in order to get them done. So yeah. And then this card about the boundaries, like for sure. Like these two cards are like, you have said that you're going to keep your writing time sacred. You have said that you were going to do this in order to achieve your long-term goals. And some of us are not doing it, me included. I have not set aside that hour every day in the evenings to write. I've done it some days this week, but I have not done it consistently. So that is a, like, we see you not doing what you're supposed to be doing. So the cards are calling at least me out, and I think possibly some of y'all as well. So that's what's happening. So let me say hello. Christina says, hello. You got a good start today. Hope everyone is well. I hope so too. And CV says, you found out your clarinet lessons are moving to a Friday. Okay, so you're going to have to modify your nano schedule. Gotcha. Okay. But hopefully that won't be too much of an adjustment, because if you just had it on a different day of the week, then you can just kind of shift the plan a little bit, but still keep the overall goals. Tessa says, hey everyone, you actually got up early today. Yay! So much to do and not sure where to start. Yeah, there's a lot of that feeling often. Start wherever you could start wherever you left off the last time. Or you could go back to your overall plan, get yourself some long-term, like reconnect with your long-term goals for the project. So yes, and do make sure that you have a drink. That's what I posted just before we came in. So I currently have water. That was why I was a little late. I went to refill my water glass. Megan says, hi, I'm awake, I promise. So no blanket for today, huh? CB says, why not make a list of everything you have to do and then prioritize it? Yes, this is another good way to start as well. Tiny Scribe, hello, you got you some iced coffee. Nice. I had coffee and then I also had a soda, so I might just have a little bit of excessive energy at the moment, but sometimes that's okay, right? But it was the pre-made stuff is so sweet that you don't need to add any sugar. Yes, when they put in like the flavored syrups, I don't ask for extra sugar when they put in the flavored syrup, because I don't eat it. Yeah. Celine is here. Hello. Welcome. And Becca says, hello. I'm so glad you're here. And Elizabeth is here. Hello and happy Sunday. Happy Sunday to you as well. And Devin is here. Howdy. Hello, Devin. I noticed that you were in the chat, so I made sure to fix the calendar real quick. So Elizabeth is going to be working on lesson planning tonight. You've been procrastinating all day today. Oh no. I will have to do a little bit of that tonight, but I'm going to try and do my best to keep my stream hours to be specifically writing. That's what I'm going to try my best for. So Petra says, happy Sunday. Indeed. And Sharon is here. Hello. Welcome. You love my shirt. Thank you. It is Starry Night modified to be Star Wars. So yes, it is quite fun. Every time I wear it out in public, I get a compliment on it. So yes, it is. I think I got it at Target one year. I think I'm trying to remember if it was like part of a Christmas thing. Like they had a whole bunch of Star Wars themed stuff, but I don't remember. Not off the top of my head. Lynn says, hello. Hello, hello. And Tessa says, thanks to CB for the advice on the list and prioritizing. And CB says, oh, sweet niblets. Nano starts on a Monday. Oh, goodness. Sometimes that's good, starting off the week, right? Right? Maggie says, hello, lovelies and stream hoppers united. Yay! Megan says, you need that boundaries card for moving. Yes, you do, because boundaries are very important, very important, making sure that everything has a proper place and that you also have a proper time to rest. Both of those things are both very, very important for moving. Maggie says, this morning you pulled 7 cards from 3 different decks about the same questions, and it was interesting because all 3 decks, side by side, gave almost identical readings. Well, in that case, you know what your answer is supposed to be, because sometimes they do give contradicting messages, and then you can kind of like see that your brain is still waffling on the answer. But when they all say the same thing, like there's no going back and forth. You know the answer. So Elizabeth says, blarg, absolutely not keeping the writing time sacred. Yes, this is a thing that I am struggling with, having the new job and trying to prioritize, like making sure that everything is done for that. I have definitely not been keeping my writing time sacred most days. So Maggie says, I think my friend's indie publishing house is in trouble. Oh no, I hate that, because I want everybody to like thrive, and that's especially since if they are not just publishing their own work, but they are helping others publish and accomplish their dreams, that's not good for just everybody involved, and that stinks. CB says, I hate when a nano starts on a Monday or a Thursday. Why Thursday? It's curious. Why Thursday? I can kind of see like why Monday, because Monday you have like the grouches or whatever starting the work week off. Work week, in quotations, the traditional work week, I guess. But why Thursday? Is it because it's kind of close to the weekend, but not really the weekend, so you can't do? I don't know. Elizabeth says, I have only gotten words down on my live streams on Thursdays. They are life-saving, or else I would not write at all after work. Yeah, and that's kind of what I'm finding, and I'm like, I don't know that I necessarily like want to do a live stream every day to keep my writing sacred, but like if I have to, I don't know. Maybe I'll just start joining Charlie's streams more often, because I did manage, I think once this week, like early this week. Was it early? Was it Wednesday? I don't know. I have lost track of so many days. Like it just this single week felt like 2 weeks. That was kind of how it felt. Yeah. So CB says, my writing group meets on Friday. Oh, okay. Gotcha. Because of Fridays and your clarinet lessons are going to possibly clash. Oh no. You might have to cut back every other week unless your lessons are after the writing group. Gotcha. Devin cutting the calendar cup. Divine Devin, yes. And all hail the great and powerful Tugwaddle, that guy with all the links. Yes, indeed, indeed. Matilda is here. Hello. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. CB says, the thing I learned from moving last time is if you haven't seen it or used it or worn it in 6 months, it's time to say goodbye. Possibly. Quite possibly. I don't know. I mean, I'm a horrible hoarder of clothes, so so I would maybe extend that 6 months because there are outfits that I have for special occasions. So, yeah. CB says Mondays and Thursdays are your support. Okay, so that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. I was trying to figure out what you had against Thursdays in particular. If it was just for whatever reason you hated Thursdays. So Megan says, I've definitely gotten rid of some things. If only you could get rid of more without having to go buy it again when you move. Okay, y'all. So this is the first time it's ever happened to me. I went to the store and I was looking at just the paperback rack at the grocery store, and I was like, oh, they've got some books by some of my authors that I like. And so I picked one up. And I was like, I feel like I've read this character's story before, but maybe it's an extension. Maybe it's a new adventure. I get home, I'm reading it, and I'm like, this seems awful familiar. Maybe she just took like the section that this character was like a secondary character in a previous book and is now expanding it. Maybe that's why it feels familiar. And then it just kind of kept going on, and like 60 pages in, so I'm like an hour, and I'm like, this all feels really familiar. So I go and I check the copyright date, and it's just a reprint with a new cover. I'm like, man. So that's the first time that I have bought a book for like a second time because of the new cover. And so that's the first time that happened. So I don't, I'm like, my memory is going, oh no. But it's just because it had a different cover, so I didn't recognize it. I did recognize the characters' names. I couldn't remember their full story. So, but it's a good one. And I had previously gotten rid of the initial copy that I purchased in one of my book thinnings. So I'll read it again, and I'll keep it around for a while, and then I'll get rid of it again probably. So it just happens. It was just the first time that it happened to me. So now I can't poke fun at my mom anymore for doing that because I've now done it. So CV says, also, Sharpie markers and labels are your best friend. Yes, they are. And having a logical plan for putting all the stuff in the same room, like labeling which room every box is going into. Like, that's 100% what it should be like when you're moving. So CB says your clarinet lessons are going to continue to be virtual, which means you'll be doing a practice exam. Gotcha. You are going to see Les Mis on Thursday. That should be fun. Hopefully everything will be still open then. Maggie says the first slot about them now, okay, we're talking about your friends with the indie publishing house, was all the inverse relationship cards. Ooh, okay. Third position of most needed was self-care, motivation, and fresh energy. And the fifth place for greatest fear was the 5 of Pentacles. Okay. Second position, who am I cards were the world for fruition, the star guiding hopes moving towards the dreams, and the Knight of Wands, forward movement, new projects, and new starts. Gotcha. Okay. Fourth position, who can I be for them, was the 9 of Cups, dreams coming true, encouragement, and as well as strength, and the star again. Ooh, okay. Yeah, that's a very interesting layout. Interesting. But with all the forward movement, it seems like it will be a better position for them. So I wouldn't say that, I don't know that this is necessarily the indie house in trouble. I'm hoping that's not what it is. I'm hoping it just might be possibly rearrangement and then actual like forward movement and gaining traction. That would be like the optimistic way of looking at it in my brain. CB says Bloomsbury did that with the Harry Potter books and gave them new covers twice. Yeah. Plus there's like UK edition, American version, like all that kind of stuff. So Lindsay is here. Hello, welcome. You are just in time. We have, I think, chatted as much as we can for right now, and we're going to shift over to HK's newest timer, which is gorgeous. We have our wishing globe, and it's going to be quite fun. All right, so I am going to be working on outlining some things, outlining a new scene, and making sure that I've got everything I need in the outline to go ahead and get the next scene done, like for real done. So I'm hoping that this is going to be a good outlining session, at least for the first sprint. So we'll see how much longer it takes me to finish this outline of this section, but I'm going to at least try to keep it to the 15 minutes. So that's what's going to happen. Okay. So your reminders. 1, save your document if you've already been working. If you have not been working yet, now would be a good time to pull your document open. 2, make sure that you have something to drink and go ahead and take a sip. 3, make sure that you straighten your spine, roll your shoulders back, release some of that tension, and make sure that if you need a break, take a break. That's number 4. So those are all of our reminders, and we can now get started with our first writing sprint, 15 minutes in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go! almost forgot to unmute myself. So that was a pretty good sprint. I got 260 words, which is a very nice start. It's a very good start. I think that will sort of begin very, very nicely. Just kind of adjusting a couple of things. Yeah. So I think it'll work as a beginning thing for myself. I think that'll work very nicely. Yeah, I think that will do. It did start raining for a very brief, just essentially like maybe the first 10 minutes of that sprint. And now it stopped again. So maybe it was just one of those summertime afternoon, just like short showers. Who knows? It's been extremely muggy. So between the humidity and like wearing a mask while teaching, my face, as you can tell, has broken out again. Fun times. But it's all good. I'd rather be safe than worry about that, because this can heal and all that kind of fun stuff. So, all right. CB had a fun time at the Prince tribute concert. It was amazing, according to CB, which sounds awesome. Just Prince in general, yes. And then Prince tribute concert, yes. So Maggie's got some more information about the friend who has the indie publishing house. So the cards about Maggie were very positive, but the 6th and 7th card, which are about them, was pretty bad. It reads that there is an imbalanced relationship, inner problems, and avoiding hard choices. You think the problems they're having is with some people doing all the work and keeping them going, and others not doing much at all, and that's sort of like creating a chasm. Yeah. So you're going to be fine, but you worry about them, and it's awkward because you are friends with everyone there, but you hope to encourage them all. Gotcha. Understand that. Yeah. And I've talked a little bit about being sort of like the entrepreneur and being the boss with my brother, because he did at one point have a couple of people that he hired for his woodworking shop, and he had to have some of those hard decisions, and he struggled over it a lot, because it was sort of like the first time that he had been the boss figure, paying other people's salaries, and when somebody didn't do, it was sort of difficult for him to have that initial conversation of like, hey, like, I know you and I know your backstory, but you're not pulling your weight here. So that was definitely something that he had to kind of figure out how to navigate. So anytime you are an entrepreneur and you do like pay other people on the regular for the work they do, that does become a possibility that you have to think about, which is, optimistic little me over here is like, oh, everybody's going to do all their work. It's going to be great. Like conveniently forgetting all of the group projects that I have ever been involved with in school and in college. Like, never mind. Because I was always on the side that seemed to wind up with more than their fair share of work. So it's human nature. Whenever we get in groups, somebody's going to pull more weight, either because that's just their nature or because control freak issues that, just like there's going to be some sort of disharmony anytime you have a group, unfortunately. So maybe I'm not as optimistic as I said I was. I don't know. Devin wants to know if CB partied like it was 1999. I would expect so. And Megan says, that's excellent, CB. Glad you had fun at the tribute concert. And let's see. Maggie says, we got rain last night, a decent hour of rain, and not the scared shadow showers we usually get. Yeah, the drops are scared to touch each other. That's a cute way of phrasing it, yeah. Tessa said, had to go down from a mail and only one elevator is working. Oh my. And someone can't use her electric cart. Someone who can't use her electric cart was blocking everyone. Didn't think you were going to get home. I'm glad you got back. But having only one working elevator seems problematic. Monique is here. Hello! I missed the first sprint. That is okay. We are going to go for another couple of hours. So there are more sprints to be had. See, we got a bit of your schedule done for Nano. And Monique was making lunch. And Sharon says, I'm super stuck with my work in progress, so you read instead. That is perfectly fine. Refill your creative well. Get that reading in. And get inspired again. Elizabeth says, made an outline for what I'm going to do for the next couple of weeks. Now to detail plan your lessons for tomorrow. Yeah. Yep. You got to plan and then you got to do the daily plan. I know that. So Petra says, it got a couple words in. The rain is providing a lovely ambiance. Oh, yay. I'm glad we're all getting, or not all of us, I'm glad that some of us are getting that rain shower in, because to me, summer does mean sort of like afternoon thunderstorms, a little bit of rain, moisture. Having been born in Florida and raised most of my life here in Georgia, that is a like summertime thing that we get is rain. And so when I don't have it a whole lot, it's kind of like, where's the rain? So Megan says, I did nothing that sprint except talk about moving stuff. Got to get your plan right. Got to get your plan right, because if you tackle it wrong, you'll have boxes sitting around forever. So it's very frustrating. CB says, a notebook is a good thing to have for moving. Yes, that way you can list off the things that need to get packed, that are currently getting packed, and things to pack later. And you can also do like room sketch layouts and that kind of stuff if you know the layout of the place you're moving to. That way you can kind of move pieces around. That's always a good thing too. One of the things I did for my last house and for this place is I made a scale diagram of the room, and then scale pieces for all of my furniture, and just like move them around to see kind of like what the floor plan layout would look like. So that's a fun thing to do, but I don't know if that's necessarily the type of packing that you are doing, the type of moving planning that you're doing at the moment. So Monique says, eating lunch right now. Very nice. I'm trying to think. I know there is a YouTuber who does like mostly planner stuff. I want to say it might be Plant-Based Bride. Or was it Sarah Canon? Who showed lists that they had made and sort of like broke down how soon each item had to be done or each room needed to be done. Now I'm getting confused because it could have been Plant-Based Bride, but it also could have been Sarah Canon, and I can't remember which one I saw it on. Either way, there are some moving planner vlogs. So Monique is eating right now. Megan says, CB's coming in with all the good ideas. You might have to start one. Yes, I would agree. Plus, if you have a spare notebook, like we usually do. Like we usually do. CB says, yes, you did. Very nice. And Maggie has the new puppy, which y'all, if you haven't seen, Maggie's newest Hold My Coffee 2021 video has the puppy. So cute. The puppy is on your feet asleep, and you need to get more coffee. Oh no. Oh no. Do you disturb the puppy or do you forego the coffee? Which will you do? And also Maggie says hello to Monique. Becca had to eat lunch for the first sprint. Understandable. Absolutely. And you are ready to sprint for number 2. Excellent. Yay. CB says, I'm glad I'm not going to New York this year because of Storm Henry. Ah, okay. Yeah. Celine edited a chapter. Very nice. Excellent. Love the progress. CB says, when I moved last time, we had a notebook for noting down all the people who you needed to call as well. Yes, this is a thing because you need to be able to set up if Wi-Fi service so that you can call people nowadays or look up numbers. So internet, water, electricity, all of that fun stuff. Lindsay got 157 words, but then the Amazon delivery guy got here and the dog went nuts. Yes, this happens. This absolutely happens. All right, let's move on to sprint number 2, which is the self-promo sprint. So if you have something to promote, meaning your newest blog post, your website, your social media, your Etsy, or your Amazon page, please do go ahead. And also, if you feel like there is an AuthorTube channel that is either new or is being hasn't had enough shout outs lately, go ahead and do a shout out of your favorite AuthorTubers, YouTubers, and make sure that we spread the love around, because I know there are some definite people who should have way more subscribers than they currently do. And let me see if I can actually get the right. There we go. Okay, so share screen. There we go. All right, so don't forget to self-promote for yourself and for your lovely, lovely favorite AuthorTubers that deserve some more love. Make sure that y'all are promoting yourselves and each other in the chat, and we will get started with our next sprint in just a second. So don't forget to save. Don't forget to hydrate. Make sure that you take a moment and straighten your spine, roll your shoulders back, release that tension. And remember that if you need a break, take one. Those are your 4 reminders. And we can now get started with our self-promo sprint in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go! Alrighty. Oopsies. Here we go. How we do? How'd we do? I did another 294 that time. I'm moving some things around, so fiddling, shall we say. Ooh, okay. Why did that happen? I don't know. I did something, and I don't know why. Or it did something, and I can't tell why. Did it again. Interesting. Okay. Copy and paste is being weird. Being very weird. Okay. Let's see if it'll, there we go. Fixed whatever the problem was. Don't know what it was, but we have now gotten it back on track. So did that. Let's see. Okay, so don't forget the second channel was the self-promo sprint. So make sure that you go ahead and promote either yourself or some of your favorite author-tubers who are not getting enough love recently. So like make sure that if there's somebody who is deserving of more attention, then please share it. So and as always, our Devin, our wonderful Devin, has the link tree for all of Devin's things. Dev75 at Linktree. And Maggie says, here's the video with the puppy. There we go. You can absolutely go see the puppy and see what Maggie has been up to. CB says, there are 23 stories on my fanfiction.net page. I haven't quite got them all copied over to Archive of Our Own and Wattpad yet. You are not sure if that's going to happen at all either. Okay. And that's under Pepperoni Fan 1983. Did I get that right? Please tell me if I got it wrong. Elizabeth says, Bound by Words is an absolutely lovely woman that live streams every Monday now. Is she doing Mondays now? Yes. What time? I'm sure it's in Devin's playlist, but just for our own mental recognition. Megan says, have you seen the latest video on AuthorTube Chronic Illness and Disability Tag? It's now in the playlist and it came out last week. Awesome. I love that we are all still adding to this playlist because it really does show just how diverse the AuthorTube community is, but it also just like shows you the lie that is like normal, because if there are so many of us that are not like normal, then perhaps we ought to rethink what normal is, because I like it's hard to say if anybody is really like normal anymore in like every facet of, I mean, definitely some people are more privileged than others in abilities, but it just, the more I talk to people and the more I interact with people, like we've all got stuff wrong with us. It just, whether or not it fits into the like mold, most of us, some of us do, and some of us can kind of fit on the outskirts, but it's just, it's amazing to me how much our infrastructure fails the majority of us rather than like the small portion that it was initially intended to, like, it wasn't ever initially, well, I don't know if that's true. I was going to say, I don't know that the infrastructure ever like intended to weed out some people, but it does. It does. So okay, what am I trying to say? I'm saying that we need to rethink the infrastructure. That's what I'm attempting to say. Like, boil it down. Like, the infrastructure is not working for so many of the population, so maybe it's time to rethink the infrastructure. That's essentially what I wanted to say. Brain. And I'm glad that tags like this one sort of like help reinforce that idea. Why am I having so much trouble with words, y'all? More live streams. Yay. All the playlists. Elizabeth says, I have a live stream every Thursday at GMT +1, 6 p.m. So 6 p.m. GMT +1, which is noon Eastern. You would love for anybody to join. And, okay, Pepperoni Fan 1982. I was off by a year. So that's where you can find CB's stories at fanfiction.net. And some of them are on Archive of Our Own and Wattpad, but not all of them. So you can find them all at fanfiction.net. There we go. Okay, so Maggie says, here is my Kindle Vella story, The Relic of Time and Prophecies. And there's the Kindle Vella link. And Tessa says, I do live streams on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 7 to 11 p.m. Eastern and Saturdays at 9 p.m. to 1 a.m. Eastern. Your YouTube channel is under Tessa Dean. And you've also been doing dual streams to Twitch lately. Are you continuing to do that, or are you scaling back to YouTube? Lindsay says, so I went to a festival thing yesterday. The website said it was recommended for everyone to wear a mask and socially distance. That didn't happen, and I literally, oh no, a lady literally coughed on you. Oh, that's terrifying. That's terrifying. I hope that you were able to still enjoy the festival and not be paranoid the entire time. I think I would probably be paranoid the whole time, but was at least like, I don't know, 2/3 of the people, were they masked, or was it just like nobody was masked? Maggie says, here is Glory Writes the Blues channel. Yes, Glory does not get enough love. And the awkward sibling hour with Tom is also fun. And here's Chandra's channel. Yes, congrats on the 1 year in AuthorTube. Yes, indeed. I was so glad that I was able to catch a couple of the evening streams this past week. And Chandra is amazing. And Asako Tumi's channel. Yes, also. And Laura now has a Twitch. Ooh, I will need to go over and add that if I haven't already. I can't remember. I will double check though. And Monique says, done with lunch. Finally sprinting. Yay! And Celine is here finishing editing your chapters for the day. Now it's reading time. Ooh. Fun, fun. So do you have, how many chapters do you do a day? Is it just like 2? Or do you set yourself like a super ambitious goal? Or is it a regularly accomplishable goal? And Monique has started outlining. Yay! CB got a little bit more planning done. Courtney says, hello, hello. You just got done meal prepping. Very nice. And you're ready to join in on the sprinting. Oh, that reminds me. I did not pick up my salads for this week. Oopsies. Oh, well, I'll just have something else for tomorrow for lunch. Lindsay says 152 words and did some chores. Nice. Tessa did some admin work and still have a video to upload. Excellent, excellent. Christina has 751 words so far for this stream. Wow. Wow. That is very nice. Already. And Tiny Scribe got 242 words. Excellent. Megan did some more moving stuff. CB says, I'm planning out some sweets for Nano. You're not buying any that contain orange flavor sweets because you're allergic. Yes, makes sense. Elizabeth says, you planned one lesson. Now you just have to find a video or something that exemplifies double communication. Oh, says one thing, but body language tells another story. Okay. So this is not necessarily just irony or sarcasm or double entendres. This is like body language with verbal communication. Okay. Okay. Petra says 254 words. Nice. Monique says, well, right now I want to shout out Savvy Writes Books because she released a new book called Cancel Sean Boston last week. She did, which was fun. Becca got 500 words. Yay! You haven't drafted in a while, so it felt really good. Yay! While Hexsphere is with your critique partners, you are going to be going back to writing Kilkeo Peak, and you are so excited. That's exciting. I'm excited for you. Tiny Scribe says, I'll be hosting writing sprints on my channel tomorrow night, 6:30 p.m. Eastern, if anybody wants to join while you prepare for Pitch Wars. And Devin Cutting says, normal is boring. Yes. We need to rethink neurotypical and respect neurodiversity. Yeah. Yes. Agreed. Lindsay says it was really rare to see someone wearing a mask at the festival. It looked like a 2019 festival. You were pretty paranoid the entire time, but you saw a beautiful rainbow. Okay, so some positives and negatives from the experience. Yeah. Tessa says, I still do dual streams, but you are near affiliate on Twitch and not planning on doing affiliate, so you hope you can continue to do dual streams. Gotcha. Celine, you plan to edit between 1 and 3 chapters a day, depending on the time that you have that day. Today it was 3. Awesome. That's impressive to get through 3 chapters. That's awesome. Elizabeth says, exactly. Could be, for example, someone saying they're fine, but from body language, you can tell the opposite. Gotcha. Monique says, by the way, I need some help on something. I have 3 protagonists, and they're all connected through this theme of ideals and morals, but it's hard to phrase the third character's arc. Oh, okay. So you might want to put a little bit of information about the third character in the chat, and then perhaps we can help during this next sprint. CB says the event you went to last night was inside outside, so not too many people were wearing masks, but you were. I think it's definitely still a better idea to wear it than not at the moment. Monique says Sylvia will have her ideals shaken and learn to embrace new ideals. Bruno is going to be questioning everything and later on settles into a toxic ideal. Okay, so that's 2 of your characters. Are these the 2 that you have ironed out? And then the third one is the one you're not quite sure of? Okay, so I'm still think I need a little bit more information on the third character. So we will go to the sprint and we will chat some ideas during the next chat break, or go ahead and feel free to give some advice in the chat box if you would like to. So for now, I'm going to share the screen. We're going to go into another sprint. It'll be another 25. And so don't forget to save your work. Make sure you're hydrating and make sure that you straighten that spine and roll your shoulders back for a posture check. And make sure that if you need a break, take a break. Those are your reminders, and we can now get started with another 25-minute sprint in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. All right, that was the end of sprint number 3. And I've gotten another 260-ish. Did a little bit of handwriting as well, and then put that to the side. So got that bit done. I think during this next sprint, I'm probably going to be working in my planner, in my personal and writing planner, not my school planner, because again, I'm trying to keep this like focused on the writing. So I've got a couple of things set up for things I would like to do in order to keep that writing time sacred and increase the strength of the boundaries for that. So getting there, making some progress. So I have, so this is what's left of my, my bullet journal for the rest of this year. So, this is in the actual like dotted bullet journal, whereas in the planner, the pre-made planner, I should say, I've got plenty of space because they have the pages laid out for us. So I'm still working on going back in and sort of like adding the things that I did do for this week, and also like I've got to migrate some things to next week because I didn't actually do them, because this week's looked very pitifully empty because I didn't access it a whole lot because I wasn't writing. So I have next week's mostly set up, but I'm gonna do, so I've got my pink crystal theme that I'm gonna be working with for this next week. So hopefully having my focus be in probably Chimera Moon, since it's the primary romance that I have. So pink, hearts, romance, that kind of stuff. But I've also got some stickers on there that have the moon. So Chimera Moon, that's my focus. I'm trying to deal with that for this next week, like making sure that I get an hour a day in Chimera Moon. Like that's the goal. We're gonna try my best to actually hit it. So yeah, but so I've got some things. Oh, right, y'all. Today's full moon, so full moon intentions have to happen. Haven't done those yet. Need to do those. But let's see how y'all did in this sprint. How you're feeling. So Monique had some more information about the third character, Antonelli, who's functionally the quote-unquote antagonist, and she's driven by ambition. She has some understandable intentions, but not necessarily corrupt morals, okay? And so then I was trying to sort of ascertain, like what kind of ideals Antonelli had. So is she certain in her ideals, but her ideals just happen to be contrary to the functioning society? Like, is she sort of like creating her own cult or movement that is like ideal for a small proportion of the population, but does not really care about the harm or the negative effects on the rest of the population, that kind of thing. So Monique says it's a little bit more of the second one. Antonelli's ideals tend to be a bit self-centered. She's not exactly a narcissist because she genuinely cares for the primo, Julius Caesar, but she is also an opportunist. Okay. The way to phrase it is that she's morally gray and her ideals are changeable. She sounds like a politician. Like, I mean, maybe not as bad as some politicians, but she sounds like a politician. The lesson my story is trying to teach is that while it's good to question those who are in power, We should never resort to violence. Okay. So then is at least, well, you said you were going to go take a nap, so maybe I will ask you the next time. But so now I'm curious as to whether one of your three characters is going to delve into violence and then see the negative effects of that sort of spiral out of their control and regret it. Yeah, okay. This is where you felt like taking a nap. So Laura arrived. Hello. You're working on some horror today. And we have an excerpt from Laura. She had never noticed the color of salt before, or rather its color bending properties. Like blotched watercolor, only more fractal in its drawing of the tints and hues into itself, becoming whatever was around it, invisible except for its unnatural, uncanny abilities. A face not quite right, eyes bleeding into skin tones around them and then sucked back into the pinpricks of salty pupils. Interesting. Okay, very interesting, because I have actually, I've done the salt on watercolor before, and I'm trying to remember if the colors that got drawn into the salt crystals became sort of muddied, or because my memory is that it does sort of like leach all of the you know what, let's do this. Okay, so I've got this. So that's the after effect of salt crystals that we're talking about here in the blue. And what I'm remembering is that the salt crystals would sit in the middle of this little white star, and they would be as dark as you could get, like as dark, and like just solid of that color. And what I'm trying to remember is if I have ever done that on a multicolored surface. I think I have on another sort of like test sheet, and the color of the crystal, I think it became a little bit more muddy in and of itself. So potentially if you had this on like all colors, all mixed together, then it would potentially turn like that very dark brown, sort of like leaning into black, as all the colors sort of like mixed together, and leached out of the surrounding area. But it does depend on sort of like how much pigment can one crystal hold. And so I would be intrigued to know sort of like how much leaching can your can this salty pupil, not quite right face, how much can it absorb before it just kind of like is full. And then I do like the idea that it's a face not quite right, because that crystal that's now full of color absolutely stands out against that sort of like now lightened area. So I'm interested to see where you take this. Laura says that's the start to your entry in Chromophobia anthology. Ooh, Chromophobia. What does that actually, like, fear of colors? Chromophobia. Persistent irrational fear of or aversion to colors. Okay. May also refer to an aversion of the use of color in products or design. Oh, and there's different names for the fear of specific colors. Interesting. Ooh, okay. That's a thing to look up later. Megan says, interesting. Yes, indeed. I'm very much like curious as to how this is going to go. Lindsay says, as much as I love summer and it being hot out, reapplying sunscreen to your entire body every 2 hours is a pain. Agreed, which is why I just don't go out. Laura says, I have not trimmed Roy's butt bangs, beard, or around his hidden eyes. The puppy can now... Oh, you have now. Okay. Puppy can see again. Yay! Next opening for the groomer is in October. That's going to be a while. Yeah. So Monique was headed off to take a nap. And Tiny Scribe got 102 words that time. Excellent. Elizabeth finished 2 Norwegian lessons and now over to social studies. Excellent. Christina got 159 words that time. Yay. CB says, I'm setting up adult homeschooling for this week. Gotcha. It's always nice to have things planned out. Becca says, wrote about 100 words. You dawdled. It's fair. You're here. You're on the Dawdling Writers channel. Tessa says, you uploaded a video and went through all of your mail and a lot of things that need to get done here. Yeah. Yeah. I still got a list of stuff that I need to complete before the end of the month, I think, for the new job. Fun stuff. Megan was on Twitter. And Courtney read about 25 pages of the manuscript that you're beta reading. Ooh, yay. I hope it's going well. Megan also dealt with moving stuff as well as being on Twitter. And CB says, I have 4 pieces of writing that you're doing during the homeschooling time. It's a good bit of, yes, it's a good bit of writing. Maggie says, dealing with the negative side of this morning's triple tarot reading. Ah, okay. Your inquiry about the things going on did not go well. Oh, no. Oh, no. Okay. Keep us posted if you feel like it. Yes, Amy Brown. I also have her book. That was a piece that I did in high school. And it was because I loved that particular piece so much. And so when our teacher was like, okay, you have to bring in a piece that you're going to essentially copy. So I picked one of Amy Brown's. So there you go. Laura says, I'll have to develop this salt color story more. Need to figure out an actual plot. Interesting. Interesting. Yeah, so the being afraid of colors and then, but also like leeching colors. I wonder if your character would be, is your character the one who's afraid of colors, or is the antagonist afraid of colors? It would be kind of interesting if your characters, this is just me like brainstorming, it'd be kind of interesting if your character somehow unknowingly leached colors from the world, and doesn't necessarily know what's going to happen once your character reaches the threshold of everything that he or she can absorb. And so maybe once your character has become full of colors from leeching it from the world, then that would mean the end of his or her existence. I don't know. Maybe that's why she's afraid of colors. CB says, I'm doing all the writing by hand because you need to keep up with your handwriting as well. Gotcha. Gotcha. Okay. All right, let's do another sprint because I need some time. So, sounds kind of similar to the movie Pleasantville. Does it? I've not seen Pleasantville. I will have to go look up the plot because now I'm curious. All right, let me share the screen again. And back it up. Okay. All right, this will be our 4th sprint. And don't forget to save. Don't forget to hydrate. Make sure that you straighten your spine and roll your shoulders back for a posture check. And make sure that if you need a break, take a break. those are your 4 reminders, and we're going to now get started with a 25-minute sprint in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go! Okay, y'all. How was that? I started drawing tarot cards for next week because I can't remember on day of to do it, so I'm just going to go ahead and do that at the beginning. So some of it seems like it could be good. Some of it, maybe not so much. But we shall see. All right, how did we do? I have set up most of my like morning and like accomplished these things for each day. I've set up most of that, so it's getting a little bit more filled in for next week. I should say this week because tomorrow, you know, things like that. You just calculated the moving costs. It's going to be a pretty penny. Yeah. Better find a job soon or you're going to run out of savings. Yeah. And fortunately, that's kind of how things go. That's just, yeah. Moving is so expensive. And depending on how far you're moving, like sometimes that makes it even worse because if you can, you know, kind of on your own, like shuttle back and forth, that's one thing. And you can kind of cut down some of the costs of moving things, except for like the big things that you can't move yourself. But if you're moving like a long distance away, then the only option really is to hire movers. And that's just, it gets more and more expensive the more you think about it. So Diana says, hello, you made it for the last 45. Excellent. Moving is definitely expensive. Just Eva is here. Hello, your web is so spotty. Oh no, you're losing your dang old mind. Is this the final sprint? No, we should be able to get another short one in before the top of the hour. So we will do another sprint. So Tessa says you have to reapply for your low-income electricity help. What a pain that is. Copies of everything, and then the trip to the post office to mail it, since it will be a large envelope, and you have to fill out your retirement forms as well. Yeah, lots of forms. Lots of forms. Petra says 595 words. You finally reached a scene that you really like. Yay! That's awesome. Yeah, Megan also feels the same way about paperwork. Just Eva says, I'm just trying to plan my life. Exactly. Never enough sprints. Never. Are you now singing the song Never Enough from I just blanked on the title of the movie, Hugh Jackman, The Greatest Show? I think so. No, that's not the name of it. What is it? What is it? Hugh Jackman, The Greatest Showman. Okay. Is it The Greatest Showman? Yes, showman, not just show. Sorry. I don't know why that was like, why is it so difficult for me to remember? Paperwork is a pain for sure. Yes. CB is currently watching Iron Man 3. Just Eva says to Tessa, the red tape paperwork is never fun. It'll feel nice once it's off in the post office, though. Yeah. Megan says, oh, yeah, it's going to cost more because you're traveling across state lines. Yeah, that's always. Anytime you go interstate, it's just the cost just. Plus, I think I don't know if you are intrastate, so within the same state, I think maybe the movers, their insurance is like billed differently than if you're going interstate between states. So because of that, I think the cost generally goes even further up. So yeah. Just Eva says to Megan, I'm not looking forward to moving costs either. So gross. Or moving, just in general, or moving. Yeah, I'm not looking forward to like moving all of these again. I'm not moving anytime soon, just, you know, at some point in the future. Yeah. Elizabeth says, brainstorm the last lesson and have a loose plan. You're going to bed now. Thank you for hosting and see you guys next Sunday. Very nice. Tessa says to Eva, too much paperwork, most of which is unnecessary. Yeah. Yeah, so the song in it is called The Greatest Show, and then the movie is called The Greatest Showman. Heather has been lurking all day, parenting and other things like sleepiness. Yes, it happens. We have to hire movers on both sides. Yeah, because you have to move them. You have to You have to hire people to pack up and pack the van or truck, move it, and then unpack. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. And unfortunately, there's still going to be things that you have to pack yourself just to make sure that like they're packed the way you want them to be packed. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Moving is expensive. Alrighty, y'all, let's do a 15. That'll take us right to the top of the hour. And oh gosh, I forgot to hit the like button on HK's new timer. Gasp. How bad of me. Now don't forget to go over into HK's channel and make sure that you are giving some thumbs up to her new timers every week that we are using them. You know, make sure that we are giving her the actual credit deserved. Alrighty, so last sprint. Yes, CB, exactly. Anything that is very breakable or very precious, or that you will need on the other end ASAP, like laptops, put it in whatever vehicle you're going in. Yes, agreed. Okay, so last sprint, and don't forget to save, don't forget to hydrate, make sure that you straighten your spine and roll your shoulders back for a posture check, and make sure that if you need a break, take a break. Those are your reminders, and we can now get started. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go! All right, that was the 5th sprint. How did we do? That was a 15-minute one. I got done with the things that I wanted to, I think, in my Celestial Planner. Got that done. Jotted down which tarot cards I pulled for the days this week. Yeah, so we'll see how much of that comes true. Because there's definitely a couple things that it's telling me to watch out for. So got to pay attention to stay out of those problem areas. And then hopefully the sort of rest and respite that it sort of indicates I will get will come true. I think I have an idea of what it means, and I'm looking forward to it. Very much looking forward to it. But we shall see. So we'll see. I'll let y'all know next week if it came true or not. Because I know there's some things that other people aren't looking forward to, but I am. So again, we'll see if it happens on the timeline that I think it's going to, or if it is going to take a little bit longer. I think I just mixed in. Yes, I did. Okay. And that's on the already pulled pile. So my cards are getting smaller. Alrighty. So I think that's going to be it for me, but let me know how you did on that one. CB said, oh, and another thing that's a good idea, label all the power cords with what they connect. Yes, this is a very good idea. Or at least label like the things that you're plugging in. If you just have like an adapter or whatever, make sure that you label, this goes to the speakers, this goes to whatever. Labeling cords is definitely a good idea, for sure. And CB also suggests putting your name and new address on all the boxes. Yep. And Laura says, I have submitted my 100-word horror story about drowning, and it's called Lungs. Very nice. Very nice. Love that. I guess you will let us know once you know whether or not you've been accepted for Lungs. Well, I guess you will let us know where it's being submitted to once. You've probably already said it, but I can't remember off the top of my head. But CB says, when I moved last time, we taped the cords for things to the things they connected or powered. That's also a really good idea. Bringing the dog alone on a walk literally doubles the amount of time it takes to go for a walk. Yes, it does, because they want to stop and sniff and do all the other things. So, and Just Eva says, oh, hi again. The internet returned again. Oh my, just in time for the goodbyes. We're glad to have you back, for sure, always. But here is Devin Cutting's playlist so that you can see what else is going to be going on for this evening. And oopsies. Let's see what else is on Devin's playlist for the evening. Morgan, of course, Morgan Hazelwood. And then 4 p.m. CDT, which I think is just Central Daylight Time, which would be 1 hour behind. So that would be starting in just a few minutes. Book Art Media, and then the revised writer Shadows Lair, Julie Pages and Pens starts at, I think, 8 tonight. And then Rhiannon Futch is going to be a little bit later in the evening. So, yes. Okay, so you submitted Lungs to Black Hair Press. They are only accepting 12, so fingers crossed. Yes, absolutely. Just Eva says it gave you a bit of a longer sprint, so it worked out. There you go. You will find out next month. Gotcha. Maggie says, I'm restarting my editing because things. Yes, yes, indeed. Just Eva says, fingers crossed. Be blessed and have a lovely week. You said pull a card for the week. Okay, well, there was a card that popped out at me when I was moving the deck around, and that was the King of Cups. So I'm going to say that's the card that you requested because it was like all in my face. So King of Cups, that is your card that you have requested. So cups, again, emotions, which you were dealing with a couple of those. But since he's upright, you have being just and fair, but again, associated with things like business as well. So, so this is a cautionary card, possible warning of an authority figure or a hypocrite. Yeah, so there's some things in here that you might want to be wary of, but also, you know, emotions can keep you strong. So there you go. There is your card. Usually the king upright is honest and generous and kind and compassionate and all that, but also possible warnings. So there you go. That is our card for the week that you, yep. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. So the, yep, full moons and emotions. Yes. So there you go. That is your card. So as Maggie says, be blessed and have a lovely week. Indeed. And don't forget to set your moon intentions. So don't forget to save as well and finish your drink and do one last posture check because my posture right then was terrible. All right. I will see y'all next week. Thank you very much and have a wonderful week. Bye.